Feeling out of the loop? Here are some of the latest space updates you might not be aware of. There's a bear on Mars? A photograph obtained by NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter that has a startling likeness to a bear caused the internet to go crazy at the beginning of the week. The image was taken in December of last year, but it was just recently released. It depicts a portion of the Martian landscape that has been outlined by what NASA refers to as a circular fracture pattern. The face appears to have two craters for its eyes and what appears to be a volcanic formation for its mouth and nose. Now, some people have been quick to ascribe this to a phenomena called as pareidolia, which is the tendency for humans to infer meaningful imagery from random patterns. These gloom-and-doomers argue that in a landscape as vast and diverse as Mars, there are bound to be things that sort of look like other things. While it's true they may be technically correct in this assertion, it is hard to argue with the fact that the object in question looks very much like a bear. Don't look up. The bright green comet known as C2022 E3ZTF, or simply the Green Comet, reached its closest point to Earth in 50,000 years on Wednesday night. As a result, it became temporarily visible to the naked eye for the first time since the Stone Age. In the event that you were unable to see it, there is a potential that you will be able to do so between now and about February 10th. According to astronomers, the comet can be seen most clearly on the northern horizon between the hours of approximately 10 p.m. Eastern Time and shortly before dawn. However, if you reside in a city that has a lot of tall buildings and a lot of other sources of light pollution, you may not have much luck. Do planets experience moon envy? The Minor Planet Center of the International Astronomical Union, which is housed and operated by the Smithsonian Institution and is responsible for keeping tabs on such matters, has listed 12 newly discovered moons that orbit Jupiter, bringing the total number of natural satellites that orbit the gas giant to an astounding 92. The previous record for most moons in our solar system was held by Saturn with 83, but Jupiter has surpassed that number and is now the official holder of the title. For those keeping score at home, there is still only one moon orbiting the Earth. Spacewalkers. An astronaut from NASA named Nicole Duke Mann and an astronaut from Japan's JAXA space program named Koichi Wakata participated in a spacewalk on Thursday that lasted for several hours to assist with the preparations for the installation of a new solar array on the International Space Station. It is estimated by NASA that once it is finished, the new solar array will enhance the amount of power supplied on board the ISS by up to 30%. SpaceX is carrying on with their operations. On Thursday, SpaceX successfully launched its 200th Falcon 9 rocket, which was delivering yet another group of Starlink satellites into orbit around the Earth. The space company run by Elon Musk has launched its nascent Starlink internet service, which delivers high-speed connections in remote regions of the world, including war-torn Ukraine and luxury yachts. The company has deployed over 4,000 satellites as part of its internet service. In the next few years, SpaceX intends to expand its network through the addition of thousands more satellites. The launch was planned for last week's Sunday, February 5th. Honoring of experienced astronauts. Former astronauts Douglas Hurley and Robert Behnken were presented with a Congressional Space Medal of Honor by Vice President Kamala Harris. Hurley and Behnken were the pilots of the first human SpaceX mission in collaboration with NASA to the International Space Station in the year 2020. The launch of the Dragon Endeavour was also the first manned spaceflight to be led by the United States of America since NASA's space shuttle program ended in 2011. Harris stated at the event that took place on Tuesday that Bob and Doug, along with the team at SpaceX, labored for years to design a new crew capsule, which they fittingly christened the Crew Dragon. They recognized the stakes of their work for our country, for our globe, and most crucially, for the astronauts who would one day pledge their life to the Dragon capsule. They understood the risks of their job for the astronauts. Remembering Columbia. Lastly, this week marked the 20th anniversary of the accident that occurred on the Columbia Space Shuttle. The Space Shuttle Columbia disintegrated upon re-entry into the atmosphere of Earth, taking the lives of all 7 personnel on board. In addition to the terrible loss of the crew, the inquiry that followed revealed a serious defect in the thermal shielding of the shuttle, which 8 years later marked the beginning of the end for the Space Shuttle program. What do you think of these recent space updates? Comment your thoughts below. Thank you so much for watching the video. Don't miss out on our latest uploads. If you wish to stay up to date with the latest space updates and discoveries, hit the subscribe button, like the video, and turn on all notifications to see more of our latest videos in the future.